Hey everybody, this is TJR.
And this is Superfan.
Hanging out with my little friend here. And today was Record Store Day. And this year, Record Store Day was, in some respects, a little bit different, at least for me. Normally, I have always gone to Port of Sound Records in Costa Mesa, California. And I always liked the way they did it. It wasn't a feeding frenzy. They had a very small store, but a lot of inventory. So they would let a few people in. They would ask you what you were looking for. Their staff would pull what you wanted. You'd go pay for it. You'd get out and they'd let some more people in. And they did it very quickly and methodically this way, getting the line through without it becoming a big feeding frenzy.
It was civilized.
It was very civilized. As stock sold out, they would have an employee come out and say, okay, we just ran out of the following. That way, if you were waiting to get something and it was no longer there and there was nothing else for you, you could just leave and go somewhere else, you know. And I thought it was really well done for that reason.
Yeah.
Now, last year, I arrived around the time I normally arrive, which is early in the morning. And I should preface that in past years, they had always opened extra early in the morning.
Like 6 o'clock.
Yeah, 6 o'clock in the morning, yeah. Much earlier than what was their normal opening. But last year, I got there at my usual time, and I thought, wow, the line isn't that long. You know, and I was like, this is good. I'm gonna be a lot closer, and they're gonna be opening soon. And then I found out they're not opening till 11 o'clock. So I thought, no wonder the line isn't this long yet. They're not opening till 11. But it worked out. I was much closer than I normally have been in past years, because I'm not one of those that's gonna, get there, wait overnight, camp overnight, be there at 3:30 in the morning. Just never do that.
Yeah, we would be like 15th in line.
Something like that, yeah.
20th.
Yeah. So it was a lot closer in line this time. Got everything I wanted. It was a good Record Store Day. Now, since then, a record store much closer to where we live, called Left of the Dial Records, opened up in the city of Orange, a lot closer to us. And so I thought to myself that Port of Sound is going to open up at 11 again. They're going to do the same thing they did last year. Whereas this store, store that's much closer, is going to open up at 6 a.m. So I thought, you're getting up early anyways. Why don't you just get up a little bit earlier and go to Left of the Dial Records. They're going to open up at 6. Maybe, you can get in and out of there well before 11 o'clock.
And still go to Port of Sound
if I really wanted to, I could still go there. But I could also, if I get what I'm looking for, which I'll be honest, was not a lot. There are only 2 titles I was really, really interested in. And I thought to myself, maybe I could just get what I'm looking for and go home. And be done with it a lot faster. So I decided to just take the gamble and go to Left of the Dial Records a lot closer, a lot earlier. So I got there early. There was a line, a reasonably line, but not too long of a line, but still a long line. Was probably in that line maybe for an hour and 15 minutes once the doors opened from that point. And, and then was able to go in. While I was there, I had some interesting conversations with some of the people that were in line with me. We had some fun and interesting conversations, which is always one of the fun things about it. And of course, Superfan couldn't go this time. She had to go do something. We don't know what. But you had something you had to go do, and couldn't be there. And so you told me to pick up the first item we're going to take a look at here. And so I got there, and I'm going to talk about what was picked up and then what happened from there. So first of all, this is yours.
Yay!
Yes. Atomic City, U2, live from the Sphere, Las Vegas, and the Mike Will Made It remix on translucent red vinyl, plus a unique large poster. And so this is a 10-inch single here. And by the way,
It's
we've
opened in the middle. It's pre
thank you. We took the liberty of actually breaking the seals on these.
a little bit. So
Yeah, before we started shooting, so that you don't have to spend time watching us do that. And so here it
because
is,
we like you.
back cover, and of course, Superfan kind of likes you too a little bit,
Maybe.
just a little bit. And let's take a look at this. Let's pull it out of its. It's got a sleeve here.
pretty.
Ooh, it doesn't want to come out. It's shy. We better get the record butler. Sometimes these guys can be tricky, so we have the record butler here, which allows us to pull records out without getting our greasy fingers all over them. There we go, and there it is.
Oh, he's pretty.
Translucent red vinyl, yeah. That is probably, yeah, red is probably one of the better colors, you know, especially translucent. It gives it more that candy feel, you know.
Yeah.
There we go.
Although purple's pretty good too.
Yeah, it is. And then we got a poster here. We'll take a look at the poster. And here we go. And yeah, there they are. This, of course, was at the Sphere, that residency that they've just recently finished up. And they're going to start work on a new album. And yes, Larry will be playing on the album, we hope. So long as he's up to it. It's up to him and how he feels. But that's always been the plan, was that Larry would heal and then they would make the new album together. And let's just hope that that all the surgeries were successful and he's able to keep playing with the band. And but there it is, Atomic City. So that was the first thing. That was for you. Now here, the two things I was interested in. I was very interested in the Elton John Caribou expanded edition double LP set.
Yeah,
that was my
all about the Elton John.
primary thing I wanted. There was one other album I wanted, which is, and hopefully I get the title right here, because this is a tough title here. And I always get it wrong, but it's by Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons, and it's called Imitation Life Gazette. And it is, well, let me explain this to you. Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons during the 60s wrote and released, I don't know if they wrote it all, but they released a psychedelic concept album. And
Nothing says psychedelic concept album like Frankie Valli and the Four.
Yeah, nothing says that. But that was kind of a mind blower when I found out about this record. And I thought, oh, I just have to check this out. And it's packaged in like a newspaper concept, similar to Thick as a Brick by Jethro Tull. And if I'm not mistaken, I think they did that concept before Jethro Tull. I'm not 100% certain on that. We'll have to double check. Superfan, maybe you can check that one for me while we're doing this. But yeah, I just figured I had to check that out. So I got there, my turn came, was, like I said, probably there for about an hour and 15 minutes before, once the doors opened, that is, there for an hour and 15 minutes before it was my turn to get in. And so I went in there, immediately found Atomic City, immediately found Elton John, but couldn't find the Frankie Valli. In fact, they said they'd never even got it in. More on that in a moment. But here it is, Elton John Caribou, double LP set, 2 LP set on 180-gram limited edition sky blue vinyl. Includes original album, plus newly compiled LP of bonus tracks. And so I might talk about this album at some future time. This, of course, is during his classic period, but many consider this to be his weakest album during that period. Although this album does have its bangers. I mean, it has The Bitch Is Back. It has Ticking. It has Don't Let the Sun Go Down on Me. But it does have some tracks that are definitely questionable, to say the least. Even producer Gus Dudgeon has actually talked rather negatively about this album. But LP2 contains the following. Pinball Wizard, his very famous cover of the classic Who song. The Bitch Is Back, new radio mix. A track called Ducktail Jiver, which I don't think I've ever heard. Another one called Sick City. Cold Highway. Stinker extended version. And there's a track here called Snookeroo Demo. And so those are the bonus tracks on the second disc. that is probably one of the reasons. I mean, it's the main reason why I really wanted to get this. But also, this is a 50th anniversary edition. Now, when this was released, when the list was released, this was released as what is called a Record Store Day first, which means it's supposed to come to Record Store Day first, but then we'll get a national release. Okay, so here we go. Front and back. We've got a gatefold here. This previously did not have a gatefold. But previously, this and this was the sleeve, the inner sleeve, when it was just one LP. Let's open this up here. These, are, of course, are in polyline paper sleeves. And here's the blue one. There we go.
That looks kind of candy-ish too, though.
Yeah. This, of course, is the original album here. Let's put this one back. Okay, so as I said earlier, this is a Record Store Day first release. And what that means, it comes to Record Store Day first, and then it's supposed to get a national release later. And when that's the case, I am usually not going to buy these. Why? Because it's going to come out later, get a national release. It may not be on colored vinyl, but it's going to be a bit cheaper. So why not wait to get it then when it's a lot less money? Why not do that? And that's what I've always done. But the reason why I said, no, I have to get this now, is because what happened last year. Last year was the anniversary of Don't Shoot Me, I'm Only the Piano Player. And again, this was a Record Store Day first release. And so last year, I was talking on YouTube about this, saying, I'd like to get this, but I'm probably not because it's going to get a national release. And they had already done anniversary releases prior to this for Madman Across the Water and Honky Chateau. But one of my viewers, James Wilson,
Thank you.
Thank you, James Wilson, by the way, told me, no, TJR, get it. I've heard from some very good sources that this is all they're going to do. This Record Store Day release is all they're going to do. This was also a 2 LP set that also featured a second disc with bonus tracks. And I thought, I find that hard to believe that they wouldn't do that. I mean, this is Elton John after all. But apparently, I guess the last two didn't do what they had hoped they would do, so the record label decided not to do anything other than this last year. So I debated it, and you said to me, why don't you just buy it, hold on to it, don't open it, put it away, wait for that national release. If it comes out, you can always get it then and sell this one for more than you paid for it, probably. I said, okay, that makes sense. Of course, I was anxious to open it, but I resisted. I put it away. And in fact, I haven't opened it till now. So we're going to open this now. But this was from last year. And
Of course, you know that Monday they're going to announce that they're releasing it.
yes, of course, that's going to happen. But anyways, though, so yeah, I going to open it. But I'm so glad now that I got it. And so, James, thank you. You were right. And so after that, I thought, okay, probably the same thing is going to happen with this, because this was a much bigger album than Caribou. So here we go. And of course, this is Don't Shoot Me, I'm Only the Piano Player. It's known for hits such as Daniel, Crocodile Rock, High Flying Bird. And but here again, we have a 2 gatefold set. And of course, it was actually originally released this way. Here we go. There's the interior.
I believe that one was a gatefold.
It had a booklet taped, stapled in the middle, but here, I think what they've got here, yeah, here's the booklet here. Originally, this I think was stapled into the middle of it, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong. But here is the lyrics booklet here. A great lyrics booklet, actually. Just visually really nice. Let me try to show it to you better here. There we go. But yeah, this is the original lyrics booklet that came with it. And let's take a look at the 2 records here. There we go. Let's take a look. Is this colored? Yes, it is colored vinyl. Ooh, much fancier colored vinyl. Here we go.
Oh,
Yeah, we got this nice red swirl. But this is from last year.
looks like
And I
a
put it
flower.
away. And the longer it was put away, the less I thought about it. And then when I realized, oh, that's right. You have not opened this. You have not played it yet. So this is an extra special thing. But yeah, they never did do anything for the anniversary last year. Didn't happen. Just this. Let's pull up the second one here and see if it looks any different here. Here we go. Okay, same. I mean, it's all variant because it's a swirl, but there we go. Yeah, this has that ice cream look to it.
It's
Looks very
got
ice
a
cream.
smiley face on the other side.
Kinda. There we go. And the bonus LP includes session demos for Daniel, Teacher I Need You, Elderberry Wine, Blues for Baby and Me, and High Flying Bird. Side 4, or side 2 of the disc 2. More session demos. Have Mercy on the Criminal, I'm Going to Be a Teenage Idol, High Heel Sneakers, Skyline Pigeon, and Jack Rabbit. So there are some demos here from songs that didn't make it on the album as well. And so this is going to be really fun to hear these session demos, and of course hear the album again. But yeah, thank you very much, James, for your heads up on this. So yeah, that's especially why I just had to get this, because I'm figuring it's going to happen again. So now, after that, when I found out they didn't have the Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons album I wanted,
Genuine Imitation Life Gazette,
Genuine Imitation Life Gazette, that's the name of the album. Thank you.
which came out in 1969.
69, wow.
Thick as a Brick, 72.
Okay, so they beat Jethro Tull to that with that concept. And who knows, maybe that's where Jethro Tull got the idea. Who knows?
Or maybe somebody did it before Frankie Valli.
Who knows? But anyways, though, so at that point, I said to myself, okay, I've got what I really wanted. It was 8 a.m. in the morning at that point. I did not really feel like going to Port of Sound and waiting till 11 o'clock for them to open and then wait in the line to get in and probably not get home till 1 o'clock. I was pretty sleepy. So I said, I'm going home and I'm going to get some Z's. And then if I feel like it, I'll go, if not to Port of Sound, I'm going to go to some other record store and just see if I can find it. Well, as it turned out, we decided to go to Rhino Records in Montclair, and thinking that they're a big store, hopefully a better chance of finding it there. Went there, they didn't have it. But that doesn't mean we didn't pick up some stuff. And so first, we've got something here that Superfan picked up.
And this is mostly a curiosity.
They had a special. Now, this was not a record store day release. This was just a $10 bin.
It was a record store day release, I believe, from last year.
Oh, okay. So it was, okay.
Yeah.
Huh. But this is from a band called Virgin Prunes. And it's called Pagan Love Song. Here's the front cover. Here's the back cover. And this album, you were explaining, I asked you, what's your interest in this? I've never heard you talk about this band. You explained to me that this guy here on the front and this guy here on the back are both, grew up with you two, essentially.
Yeah. Bono's best friends.
Yeah. They all grew up together. And if you know anything about the band's history, you two, I mean, Bono, The Edge, they all used to hang out with this group of friends and they all had these nicknames for each other.
Yeah.
And it was in fact was it this guy or was it this guy here? The one that looks like Gene Simmons on drugs. But one
Is
of
there
these
a separation there?
But one of these guys gave Bono his name Bono, because that's not his real name, but he's the one who gave him the name Bono, and also gave Edge his name The Edge, because that wasn't his birth name either, of course, but he gave him that name.
And Edge's brother, The Edge's brother, is in this band as well.
Oh, okay. So there you go. It's another U2 connection. And you were saying that it was this guy, I think, here.
Yeah, if he looks slightly familiar to you.
He's brothers. He is the brother of the little kid, who's now not a little kid anymore, obviously, but the little kid on the album Boy, which was U2's first album, and on the album War, which was their third album. That's his brother. So you were just curious to know what they sounded like, given the history and their involvement with U2. Had you ever heard them before?
I have not heard them.
Okay. But we'll pull this out here. Take a look here. We've got we've got a little insert here. Sorry. There we go. And right there.
Some lyrics, maybe?
Actually.
Or credits?
Yeah, it's lyrics. Yeah, I thought it was credits at first, but it's lyrics. And then we've got on black vinyl, but we've got here basically those two faces there on here. Oh, we know it is on a colored vinyl. We'll pull this out. Let's check it out here. We're going to need this guy, though. Here we go.
Is it swirly?
No, but it's on a translucent
clear, I guess.
Clear vinyl or gray vinyl. I'm not sure how you'd call it. So this brings us to two things that I picked up, but these are not Record Store Day. These are just vintage records. So first here, Can't Buy a Thrill by Steely Dan. Now, I have the newer pressing of this, the newer remastered pressing, which I think sounds fantastic. But I really wanted to compare it to a vintage pressing. And what struck me about this one is the cover here is in such amazingly like-new shape. I was really kind of blown away. And I knew this was vintage because it has this ABC Records little logo right up there. So I knew this was, if not an original pressing, a very early pressing. But this cover is just in incredible shape. Can't say the same for this inner sleeve here, which I'm going to replace. It's yellow, it's brittle, but we have it here. There's the original ABC Records logo. And so, yeah, you can tell this is a vintage pressing. And I used to have this album on LP back in the day when LP was the dominant format at the time. And we had cassettes and 8-tracks, but CDs were not too far off in the future. So I want to listen to this and compare it to the modern remastered pressing and see what I think. So that's the reason I got this. And I might do a shootout and do a little comparison video, who knows. Next, I pick up another in my ongoing attempt to get the classic Chicago period albums. And of course, this one here is Chicago 7. And yeah, I had to look at the spine because one of the problems with the vintage Chicago albums is that even though they are different, they also look kind of the same too. So it's kind of, if you're not real familiar with them, and I'm not, I admit that, you kind of have to look at them. For a long time, Chicago was just a greatest hits band for me. Then I discovered Chicago 1 and 2 and thought they were absolutely fantastic. And since then, I've been just collecting and listening to, for the first time, the vintage, 70s period, considered their classic period, and listening to the first time on vintage vinyl first, before I listened to them in any other format. And this is a 2 LP set. Here is the gatefold interior. We've got 2 LPs. And I did look at both of these in the store in the best lighting that I could. Here is the first disc and the second disc. Let's see here. Yeah. Right here. This has all the, So these just contain the track listings here. And, but yeah, these are the original sleeves. And I'll be looking forward to continuing my discovery of Chicago. But yeah, so this year, Record Store Day, different. Normally, it's just about Record Store Day releases. This one, I only wanted 2 things. I only found 1, but ended up getting some cool vintage picks, which I was grateful for. So that was my Record Store Day experience. Tell me about yours, and what did you pick up? Did you get everything you wanted? Did you not? I'm still keeping my eyes open to see if I can find that Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons album. I have no desire to pay, I should say, overinflated prices on eBay on the secondary market. But if I can still find it at a store, if I can still get it for relatively close to the selling price, I'm gonna get it. And who knows, maybe I'll look for a vintage copy as well. We'll see. But let me know about your experience. As always, if you like these videos, be sure to hit like, hit subscribe, and hit the bell notification icon so you never miss a video. And thank you, Patreon supporters. You are greatly appreciated.
You're fierce and mighty.
Indeed. Patreon supporters do receive exclusive weekly videos not available on this channel. And if you'd like to be a Patreon supporter, please go to patreon.com/TJR, the original. We really appreciate the support. And if you can't be a Patreon supporter, I understand. Just click like, share these videos with anyone you think might be interested, and that helps us a great deal. Till next time, thank you so much for watching, and we'll look forward to seeing you in the next video. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye.